Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you my online clients' results. John, who lives in Norway, and John started his rehab plan a couple of months ago with me, and he was diagnosed with multiple level lumbar spine disc bulges, and he was basically suffering from congenital spinal stenosis. Now, he was very worried whether is he ever gonna get better and get back to his life, with kind of like managing his pain and be able to do his day-to-day living activities pain-free. And in this video, I share with you his results, how's he getting on right now, and he specifically share with you a couple of tips that help him a lot in regards to his recovery. I suggest you that if you're suffering from chronic lower back pain due to lumbar disc bulges, disc herniation, or I suppose congenital spinal stenosis, you can definitely get some advantage of watching this video till the end. And if you are suffering from chronic lower back pain, I help people globally through a customized rehab plan and explaining them a pain in a little bit different way and give them a routine to follow for their recovery. I will be more than happy to help you. You can start your rehab plan right away. I'll leave a link below that you can literally understand more what I do with my patient. You can watch some of my patient testimonial. Beside that, you can book an online consultation and we can get you started right away. If you have never been in this channel, my name is Bob. I'm a physical therapist. And in this channel, I share tips, rehab exercises that can be beneficial for you. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for my weekly update, and don't forget to press that like button. Let's get started. What I would like you to go through today is to maybe just share your story. You know, I think it's a long story, but we want to make it as I suppose, details as possible. But at the same time, I think you have your own way of explaining things and where you start your, I suppose, rehab, and how did you start to contact me, and how was the rehab going up to today? Because I think we reached to the point that today we can say that you're in a much better place from where you started, you know. And I think
Yes.
I'd like to listen to yourself and you share your own experience and your tips that you learned over working with me over the last couple of months, you know, with people who listen to this video. Would that be fair, John?
Yeah, of course.
I think
Be my honor
yeah,
to share. Yeah.
thank you. I suppose, like, John, what happened initially that you contacted me? You know, maybe first we start with that.
Um, I got a real bad pain in my left buttock. I had it for a while, and it got worse and worse. And I went to the doctor, and he said that we have to take a MRI
Mm-hmm.
of your back and hips. And I did to do that MRI, and it went, yeah, maybe 2 weeks later. I just got a text message
Mm-hmm.
that they had found spinal stenosis in my back and disc herniations and
Mm-hmm.
disc bulge, and yeah, and yeah, and I just got panic.
Yeah, the
I
message wasn't very helpful,
yeah,
wasn't it?
no, the fact that he sent me a text message right before the weekend, and I couldn't get in touch with him, and I
I
had
know.
to
Yeah,
use
wait until Monday.
Google. Yeah,
Ah, got you.
yeah, I had to use Google, and I
Just read
didn't.
more about it.
I ever heard about spinal stenosis. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't have any idea what
Uh,
it is. And then what do you do, John? You
no,
start to search about it, right?
no, yeah, I did Google search, and to say it, my life was over. The feeling, I thought, oh
Yeah.
my God, my back is gone. It's ruined.
Yes. That was the perception.
And yeah, I couldn't believe it. And then I suddenly started to feel my legs cramping up.
I
And
got you.
yeah, and my back pain started to flare up from
Mm-hmm.
my buttocks and up to my lower back. And I went back to the doctor later and got appointment, and I talked to him, and
Mm-hmm.
he said he wanted to send me to a surgeon
Got you.
in Oslo,
Mm-hmm.
Norway, and they was the best at spinal stenosis and back surgeon.
Got you.
But this surgeon, he was actually a good guy, because he said early in the meeting that even if the pictures shows that you have
Narrowing. Yeah.
narrowing
Yeah.
of your spinal
Canal. Canal. Yeah.
yeah, canal,
Yeah.
it must not mean that you will have big trouble.
Very good.
It
Very good.
doesn't mean, yeah, it doesn't mean that you have to have operation or
I
something,
got
but
you. Then he called me
yeah,
a little
and
bit, basically.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
he said that he thought that I was born with
Uh-huh.
more narrow spinal canal.
Basically like a
And
congenital spinal stenosis.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's
that
common
I
as
lived
well.
with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
So
he did explain to you, John, that your spinal stenosis is literally a congenital stenosis, which is that you're born with that narrower canal. And then
yeah.
what was your response after that, John, to him?
No, my response to him was, do I have to get the operation now or
Yes.
later,
Yes.
or can I exercise to try to relieve my pain,
Yes.
or
To
is
improve it.
there any chance, yeah, to make this better?
Got you. Yeah.
And
What he said, John?
he actually said that he wanted me to keep exercising and keep myself fit,
Very good.
and very important to stay mobile,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah. Stay active.
mobility
Yeah.
exercises.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, and he actually said that even with the pain I felt in my
Mm-hmm.
body,
Yes.
he actually said that you're too young to get the operation now. He said
Very good,
he
very
wanted
good. I
me.
mean, that's a very good suggestion in regards to, like I suppose, somebody with stenosis. You know what I mean? Because commonly, spinal stenosis sounds can be very scary, as you mentioned. And if you research
Yeah,
about it online, you can hear a lot of negative stuff about it. But one of the very important fact that everybody who ever watched this video is that those changes in your spine does not happen overnight, which means
no,
you don't
that's true.
get those changes immediately. And in majority of cases, people who has stenosis, our body has ability, the nerve can get basically comfortable with that pressure or narrowing. You know what I mean? The nerve root. And based on the patient's symptoms, you can literally see that over time they can improve, but they're always kind of like basically managing those symptoms, which means we're not trying to fix it, we're trying to manage it. And then what happened
Yeah.
after that, John?
No, after that I went home, and
Mm-hmm.
I got a reaction of all the information, because the spine surgeon also told me that he thought my hips was worn out totally.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe that, because I hadn't had any hip pain.
I got you.
But when he first mentioned that, I started to overthink and
Of course.
panic, and suddenly my hips hurt too.
Uh-huh. John, one thing that is important
Yeah,
here, I think this is very
yeah,
important for people who watch this video. Like, I think the reason that he gave you that opinion based on your hip was because you got your MRI of your hip as well, and he saw some
yeah,
degenerative changes in your hip, and he
yeah,
mentioned that they're worn out, or they're like
yeah,
literally like look like they are having problem, but you never had any pain. And that's another thing that is important, that you can't really judge the patient based on their MRI, which means MRI does not show pain. And this is important for you, whoever who's thinking to get MRI. A lot of those changes that people see those in MRI scans are very common, and they're very normal to have them. You know what I mean? And one thing
Yeah.
that people need to know about you, for example, John, you're a strong guy. You know, you're tall. What's your height, John?
I'm almost 2 meters.
Yeah, like you're basically,
Mm.
and your body weight, you're not like, I don't know, 120 pounds. You know what I mean? You're heavy. Those basically like size, I suppose, and the weight that you have, it is normal to have some sort of wear and tear in your hip, in your knees, in your back if you get an MRI scan. You know what I mean? Which means, as a
Yeah.
practitioner, one of the suggestions that I give to my patient is to always correlate MRI based on so many other things alongside with patient lifestyle history and the symptoms that they have, which means if you don't get that picture, you can freak out, and he didn't tell you about that. It's normal to have those wear and tear in your hip.
He did not tell me about
Yeah,
that. He
yeah,
actually said that he was real good at operation
off the hip.
hips. Yeah, he said that was a big success rate.
I got you.
Uh, yeah, and I just looked at him and I couldn't believe what he
Yeah,
said.
yeah, because you never had an issue with your hip. Yeah, but
Yeah.
then you panicked, and then what happened after that, John?
Then I thought to myself that this can't be all over. I have to try to fix this. I
Yes, find a
know
second
I can
opinion.
try to fix my body. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I said to my wife that I saw a guy on YouTube, and she said, "Yeah, you watch a lot of those guys that fixes back and things like with the body." And I said, "Yeah, but it's one guy that I I saw, and I just think there's something special with him. His name is Bob. I saw I saw it in his videos that it was something that just he got my trust. I just couldn't explain it. It was just what I saw, and I heard some of your earlier patients that
Mhm.
had been through a hard journey, and you helped them
Yes.
on the way to get better. And I thought to myself, I have to get in contact with this guy. I don't know how this will work
Yeah.
because I'm in Little Norway and he is in
Yes.
Ireland. And
Yes.
but as I said to my wife, I just have to give it a chance.
Got you.
And now I'm very glad for I did that. Very, very glad.
Amazing, John. I'm happy to hear that. Then maybe, John, just share with people how things start to work. I mean, like, because I think initially we were in a different type of conversation when you start your plan. You were in a different zone. Maybe tell people what was your symptoms in that stage of time, like what you were experiencing.
The biggest symptoms was that I couldn't actually sit.
Uh-huh.
It was like my tailbones, or what you call it,
Yes.
constant stiff or tightening up.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very hard to sit, and and I had some trouble with my left leg, like sciatic
Mm-hmm.
pain. Um, so I couldn't walk as good as I used to. Um, that was the biggest problem. And as I told you, I had a little bit cramps in my legs, but
Mm-hmm.
I still think today that I think the power of the mind. I read all those dangerous things about spinal stenosis, and
Yes.
yeah,
You really freaked out.
and that yeah, it made me panic.
Yeah, which means
Yeah.
one of the things that I think you trying to suggest to people is that it is good to know information, but where you're reading them, and what do you read, it can hugely impact people symptoms even, you know what I mean? And
Oh,
in
yes.
reality, like a lot of information that you read in Google, they're not related to your case. And I think this is something that I suggest to a lot of my patients, is that as soon as they start to work with me, is to stop reading about things, and instead ask somebody like me who is in charge of your rehab plan. You get me? Which means it doesn't mean that I know everything. You know what I mean? The fact is that I work with a lot of people with back pain, but they think that I know all of the questions. I have answer for it. I don't. And the reality about back pain is that even up to today, we still don't know clearly what really helps with back pain. You know what I mean? And we don't have like a structure in a box to say, okay, here all the goodies in this box, John, take them and you're gonna get better. It's a very complex, I suppose, injury in comparison to, let's say, knee injuries. You know what I mean? Like, I try to use this analogy. Like, if you get a cruciate ligament, we have a very systematic way of rehabbing that injury over the next 12 months to get you back in playing football, let's say. Yeah. But
Mm.
in comparison, the back pain is not like that. And you might have a very minor amount of like tissue damage, but you might experience so much pain, which is doesn't necessarily a similar way of other type of injury that you can follow a rehab plan and get it right. It's get much more complex, and sometimes
Yes.
back pain is much more sensitive in regards to where it is. It can really debilitating your lifestyle, sitting, walking, you know what I mean, any type of activity, and impact your life physically and plus mentally, because you gonna think about future and say, okay, I'm gone, I'm done, I can't do things.
Mm.
Okay, John, then
Mm.
then you start working with me, and tell me about your experience from the day one. Like, let's say, how did you find the online consultation initially?
Um, I found it. I found it actually safe. I trusted you
Mm-hmm.
when, yeah, because earlier when I had back pain and I kind of managed the back pain myself
Mm-hmm.
on and off in the earlier years,
Got you.
I they couldn't get me to do those mobility exercises I got from you,
Uh-huh.
but you got me to do them, and it was almost that I forgot to get scared when doing them
Uh-huh.
because I thought they would hurt me before.
Uh-huh. Got you.
Yeah, I actually thought that, example, cat camel, it
Yeah.
would break my back. It
Uh-huh.
would, I would get a prolapse or something.
Uh-huh. Got you.
I
Got you.
was so scared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Based on what they told you. Yep.
yeah. So I think it was a real good plan, and it was, I could go in my computer and I could watch videos of how to do the mobility and exercises, and
Mm-hmm.
I could write up on a chart my
Yeah.
pain
You
and,
track
yeah, and
yourself. Yeah.
stress. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
thought that was really good. Um, yeah,
How do
really
you
a
think
real
that
good
that's
plan.
yeah? How do you think that plan help you, John? Because I think beside just measuring pain, we measure other things in your life. Like your stress level you mentioned, your, let's say, your diet, your sleeping hours. All of that is some give us some data that create much more clarity, because what we know about pain is very multifactorial. Which means it is not always associated with tissue damage, especially in chronic pain, that you basically have pain more than, let's say, 3 months. How do
Mm.
you find that sheet that you get from myself that help you to manage your symptoms and understand more about yourself?
The sheet helps me with, um, for example, notice that, okay, I slept very bad the
Mm-hmm.
last days. That can improve how I feel pain or how much pain I'm in,
Got you.
or stress, or yeah. So it's like a guide. So I can use it like, okay, today I feel a more pain because I didn't sleep so well the
Got
two
you.
last nights, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and
Or I did maybe too much, let's say, activity.
yeah, or I did too much, or I think it was real nice when you wrote up the daily activity plan. That was
Yeah.
real good for me,
Yes.
because then I could write down all the things
That you
I
do.
tried. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I
And
think
I
that's
could,
important. Yeah.
yeah, because then we could see, oh, the last week you had a little bit more pain. Yeah, you did a lot of walking. Yeah, you washed the
Mm,
car, and
yeah.
we could, okay, maybe we have to wait with that to get a little bit further in the plan
Exactly.
before we
Yeah. I
do
mean,
so much other stuff.
this is a great information, John, because for people who listening to this video, I think it's great to understand that why do we measure all your activity in that sheet alongside with your exercises that you do? The reason is that sometimes people can simply get annoyed. You can annoy your pain, by doing really too much of activities that you don't really see that you're doing them, because your daily chores and activity that you do at home, let's say, I don't know, washing the dishes, cleaning up the rooms, hoovering, or for you was washing the car, John, you know what I mean, or fixing a
Yeah.
car, let's say. They weren't like activity that
Mm,
you would call them intense, you know what I mean, in your mind,
mm,
but they were activity
mm,
that could spend, let's say, 2 hours washing a car, you know what I mean. That 2 hours can
mm.
hugely impact your overall threshold, which means how much
Yeah.
activity you're doing in one day. And beside that, then you walk, I don't know, maybe 3 4 thousand steps a day, and let's say you doing the exercise as well. Now when you
Mm.
add on all of them in one day, it becomes like a huge amount of activity that for somebody who's not in pain, it might be totally fine to do it, but when you're in pain, your body can be much more like literally perceive the pain just because you're doing too much of stuff. And,
Yeah.
and in your mind, when you get sore, you always think about one thing that I made things worse,
Yeah.
and that can hugely impact you mentally as well, which means you get panicked more, and
Mm.
and it becomes like a vicious cycle if you don't notice where
Yes.
is wrong. Then then what did we do, John, after that? Like when you start your plan, I think it was a period of time that you were kind of like following the routine, and then it was very difficult for you to not do too much, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a period of time that it was very difficult for you because you're always been active, you've always been doing things. And it was a little bit frustrating initially because we have to really get you into the structure and follow just the plan beyond that, because sometimes it's difficult to measure it if you don't follow that, because
Yeah.
otherwise I won't be able to get a response whether does this movements and exercise helping you or not. And then maybe you share what was your feedback in regards to we changing that. How did you find that, John?
I found that when we saw that I did too much uh, on the on my free time, of if I can
Mm-hmm.
say it like that.
Yes.
I did too much, and
Mm-hmm.
that made my flare-ups bigger and longer, and we had to um, we had to work together to get me to not do as much on my free time.
Exactly.
When I did my exercise and mobility, that
Mm-hmm.
was enough for that day. And next day, I did my mobility and 20 minutes of bike,
Yes.
and maybe went for a walk, and that was enough. And we tried that, and that
Mm-hmm.
really progressed very well. when
I got
not
you.
doing so much other stuff.
Of course,
Yeah.
which means following the plan.
Yeah, following the plan.
Exactly, exactly. Now,
Not
yeah,
self-sabotage.
yeah, exactly. Which means you got a
Yeah.
much more positive response to the plan by following just a plan and being able to know, okay,
Yes.
if I do more,
Yes.
it can actually annoy me. That's a very
Yes.
good tip, John. But now we discussed earlier this morning that there are certain things that you find really helpful in overall in the plan. That was, I think, for me, it was for you is an eye opener because learning is something that happen over time, John. We always learn. I think. What else did you find in this routine and the plan that really helped you? That could help people like yourself who suffer with back pain.
Yeah. That the important thing is to stay positive and think positive.
Mm-hmm.
It's real easy to say when you're at rock bottom. You have
Yes.
pain and you feel all these things in your body and you're
Yes.
scared, and but it's very important to understand that your brain uh, can have a big impact on how you feel.
Absolutely.
I yeah, it happened to me. My
Mm-hmm.
brain took over, and I had a lot more pain than I needed to have because my body was in panic mode all the
I
time.
got you. I got you.
I
And
was
what
scared,
factors
and
do you think associate with that as well, John? What factor made you panic more? I think there are a couple of things that we discussed earlier as well. Like, I think you had a very stressful period of time in your life that, this injury made you kind of like, get
yeah,
even a little more stress. I think
yeah,
maybe share with people what factors cause that, like something like stress. What else, John?
yeah. When I was 23, I got my first prolapse in my back, and
Mm-hmm.
those pain, the pain I felt in my back, I can't describe. It was horrendous.
Got you.
Um, I slept on the floor and for 3 months, and yeah, I cried
Mm-hmm.
when trying to get dressed in the morning, and used half an hour just to go to the bathroom. It was,
Yeah,
and that made my life very hard
got
because
you.
when my body healed, my mind always got me thinking if I felt something in my back.
Got
I
you.
was always worrying. I was
Yes.
always thinking of my back.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I just bent down,
I
I was
got you.
thinking, oh, did it go okay? Oh, what did I feel there? Was it
Mm-hmm.
something bad? Or, yeah, so um, that was a big part of,
Your
I
fear.
think, what, yeah,
The fear, which means
yeah,
past experiences that you had was
yes,
kind of like really in back of your mind that I don't want to get
yeah,
back there again. I don't want to be
yes,
in that pain. And always
ever again.
associate with activities that you're doing and you even more
Yeah,
tightening up
yeah,
everywhere. You know what I mean? Because I think
yeah,
it's normal, John. It's not about only you. We always do that autopilot, because of the fear that you had pain in past, and experienced some pain in your back. And you still have that memory and your nervous system is still keep that memory just for protection.
yeah,
And
yeah,
by having that fear that I want to be there, you even more protect yourself. And
yeah,
and that just caused much more stress as well, alongside with that fear,
yeah,
doesn't it?
yes,
And
yeah.
then how did you overcome that, John? Because I suppose you are doing much more than before now. And maybe we discussed about what you're doing right now and you enjoy doing them without getting crazy flare up again, you know what I mean, as was happening. But how did you overcome that, John? Through what do you think this program helped you in that sense?
The program absolutely helped me because you have explained my MRIs in details. You explained what it's nothing dangerous, it's temporary. Your body will heal, and we have to do some exercise, get you stronger, and that gave me confidence. And I have seen other of your clients, and they have did the same mobility and exercise, and they got a lot better. So why wouldn't I?
Got you. You start to
Everybody will
build up
get
your hope,
better.
and you start
Yeah,
to feel like,
yeah,
if they can do it, I
yeah,
can do it as well.
yeah. And as I said in the start of the video, I just felt trust in you, the way you work, and yeah, I don't know, but um, I just started to trust you and do follow the plan.
Got you.
And yeah, I think it went very well. And it's a real comfort knowing that if I feel anything or are having any questions, I can give you a quick call and
Yeah,
we can talk a little bit about it, or
of
maybe we
course.
have to change one of the
Things on the plan.
exercise, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Which means the
and
plan is the customized plan that changes over time, and we challenge
yes,
you, we modify it, etc. But beside that, I think you have somebody who can answer your question rather than you research about it, which means I think
yeah,
that's something that has a stop, John. You don't read as much about your symptoms, because I think there was
yeah,
a period of time that you were very kind of like, you were very kind of like negative still about spinal stenosis, and you were having this question, how does this get better?
yeah.
And you had that
I
question.
was a
Yeah.
yeah, I was a real bad client
No, 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 no. It's
because
not
I
about being good or bad, John. It's that was a question
no,
that you
no,
had
I
in
know,
mind, and
but
a fear. But the fact
yeah,
is that I think um I needed to create some clarity for you that our body has the ability to improve and get comfortable, adapt to things that they're not comfortable. Do you know what I mean? Because as your
yeah,
doctor initially told you, your spinal stenosis wasn't like a, something that you can say it happened overnight. It's been there for quite some times, and based on your doctor,
yeah,
it was a congenital, narrower canal, and your body adapt over time with it. Which means as you grow and you get stronger and bigger, your body start to adapt with that, I suppose, narrowing and that pressure, if there was even a pressure on it. Now,
mm,
our job is not to fix it, is about creating adaptation for you and slowly build up your threshold, which means you start to fix your car with less problems. You start to fix your aquarium recently. You would talk about it today, and that was something that you used to have fear about doing it, right?
yeah, yeah. I used to get pain after 5 minutes when doing my aquarium. Now
Exactly.
yeah, maybe an hour with no pain.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
And one thing I think, John,
yeah, that's really
is
amazing.
very important that I think you have to share this with people is that your perception about pain has changed, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
maybe you can discuss about that a little bit, John, because I think
yeah,
it's very helpful.
yeah. First of all, you teach me about how the main brain works. You told me about how the brain can give you like you get scared from pain, and it could do like your nervous system gets all high wired
Yes.
and tense in your body. Yeah, and we had many conversation about this, and one day I thought about um, how many wins that I got out of this exercise plan with you.
Yes. Yes.
And I thought to myself that, uh, hey, I'm really getting better. Why do I still afraid or
Hmm.
feel down? Or
Yes.
now you can do so much more.
Got you.
And then I started to think more positive.
I got you.
I started to to, okay, today it's a little bit sore in my legs. Okay, tomorrow I'm better.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
started to, yeah, I
Look at
started
it a
to
little bit
learn that,
different. Yes.
yeah, I think different. I know that it will be okay. It will be some days be a little bit sore or
Yeah.
hurt a little bit, but
Yeah.
next day or 2 days,
I'll be
it will
fine.
be better.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, be fine.
And not
Yeah,
just by resting, John. You're very active at the moment.
yeah,
You're going out, you're walking, you're sitting much more comfortable, which means you're challenging your
yeah,
body, but at the same time, you have changed your perception in regards to those pain or symptoms that you're getting, which is a huge important factor in regards to your recovery, because that can help you to become independent. And it's something that, John, I wish I had a tablets to give to my patient to get to this stage as quick as possible, but it's impossible because you need to regain new experiences, you know what I mean, and build up your
yeah,
trust and build up your movement and strength and all of that alongside with your own, I suppose, eyes and doing them. You know what I mean? It's not like a quick fix that you get it overnight
no,
and you're fine. It is a personal
no,
experience that you gain every single day by doing things and regaining
yeah,
information and getting clarity about here. You get me? Which means
yeah,
part of the very important part of, I think, the rehab plan that we've gone through. And John, I'm so happy about it because for me to see you here today, happy, and you're comfortable, you're not in pain all the time, you don't panic about your pain anymore, you know what I mean, and you have much more control about your life, and you can play with your kids, you know what I mean, and have
yeah,
that, confidence again that I can actually get back to work, in some stage, that's a
yeah,
huge factors, and that makes my day and makes my week, I have to say that, because I believe any type of injury that uh, you sit down and read about it can be sounds very scary, but I believe our body has the ability to repair and adapt. And if you give the
yeah,
right dosage, you know what I mean, and get clarity here, your chances of winning is much, much, much higher.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. The power of the brain, as I say.
Of course.
Don't underestimate it. I don't say we all have some trouble with our backs or knees or
Yeah.
hips
Yes.
or, but it will heal. It will heal. Just trust me on this. But you have to manage the brain also, because the brain is powerful. It can still say that, oh, you are still in pain. It must be
Mm,
something real wrong. But
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no,
I
it's
get you,
your
John.
brain. I
You
promise you.
you worked
Yeah,
on it, you worked on it and you learned from those
yeah.
skills. John, I
Uh,
know it's I like to just definitely ask you, is there anything else that you find that was helpful, that helped you, that you like to share with people before we finish?
yeah, I think I like the plan. I like how you set it up personally to each other. What works for you, and you change it when,
Mm-hmm.
if I say that mobility exercise is not so good for me,
Mm-hmm.
and you say, okay, let's try another one, and we can
Customize.
change it. Yeah, customize it again. I like that, because then you can do the mobility exercise without much pain,
I
because
got
that's
you.
the whole point.
Of course, you
Yeah,
you do things that actually works for you. No, 100%, John.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's a huge factor as well, because sometimes people follow my videos through YouTube and they follow things that they're not even comfortable, and they send me a message, okay, Bob, you suggest these videos, but they're not comfortable. Those are a general
uh,
scheme of exercises that people probably need to try, but if they are not comfortable, I would suggest them to don't follow them, and that's why
yeah,
getting a customized plan is much more, I suppose, helpful, and you get much more window of opportunity to get answered your question rather than to just read opinions on the internet. John, it's been a pleasure
yeah,
to work with you, and we're not done here. We got you back to train in the gym, and you're training in the
yeah.
gym, and you have much more
Yes,
extensive routine that you do through the day. almost pain-free, John. I can reclaim that,
Yeah.
which is great. And
Yeah.
you're a different person.
Yeah.
Thanks again for trusting the process. And thanks for the video, for sharing your experiences, John. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you find this video helpful. If you're suffering from chronic lower back pain due to lumbar disc bulges, disc herniation, or spinal stenosis, I would be happy to help you to get more information in regards to where you can start your rehab plan and how you can progress it. As you can see, it's not a very quick fix. You need to be patient. You need to be able to be following a routine and be consistent with that. I believe everybody has a chance to recover if they put time and effort and understand what can work for them and what doesn't, and gradually build up around that. And this is something that I do with my patient globally and help them to overcome their chronic pain and get them back to life pain-free. Make sure to subscribe my channel for my weekly update. And if you have any question or concern, you can leave me a comments. If you find this video helpful, press that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next week. All the best.